Last time out, our Rams nearly doubled our point total on the season with a really good showing against the rival Cardinals. However, the game inevitably ended with another loss, sending us 0-6 as the Cards would win 49-30. But despite the injury to Cam Akers, who at that point was leading our offense, Stetson Bennett really stepped up and the offense started to move the ball through the passing game. And with Akers missing the next few weeks, we're going to need that passing game to continue to come out strong. And as we head on into this episode where we'll be playing against the Steelers, probably, I would say the third worst team, just Madden in general. I would say Rams probably first, Cardinals second, and then the Steelers. So another opportunity for us to hopefully try to find a win, though the best part of the Steelers is their defense. So hopefully our offense that did see some really good play, or better play, I guess I probably should say, last game, hopefully they'll build on that in this one. But it's a little bit of the defense we need to focus on, as well as we have a breakout DB, and I'm assuming it's going to be Paulson Adebo. That's exactly who it's going to be. He had the pick 6 last week. And in this week, he's going to need either himself get a combination of 2+ interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for loss, or sacks, or the defense in general is going to have to hold the Steelers to less than 150 passing yards if we want to see a development boost, which would be really fantastic for us. And I think this is the first episode that we're not going to make any roster changes to start off with. Week 8 would be next episode coming out tomorrow, so potentially any last big changes, any trades we may end up making will be at the beginning of next episode. But I want to jump on into this game against the Steelers and just give another go of what we saw last week and hopefully see if we could continue what was our best play yet. And as we get this game underway, it'll be us receiving the opening kick as Hodges Tomlinson back to return. He's actually done pretty well in the return game as things open up right down the middle, though he can't quite escape. But a great starting spot at the 40 as Stetson Bennett and this offense will head out. He had a pretty good showing for us last week. Obviously, interceptions have still been a problem, and he's also gotten involved a little bit scrambling. So the hope today is that we could just compile all of that together and just see a decent offense. Just top to bottom. That's all we're looking for. Just decent, as they actually get a pretty good run play 1 to Evans. The rookie will be getting the start in this one again with the injury to Cam Akers, who will put him out. I want to say it's 3 weeks. Nothing really opens up much as Bennett will step up and will maybe lose a yarder back to the line of scrimmage. Now, obviously, the talk when it comes to the passing game for us is Johnson, who's just been fantastic to start off this season. Well, I say start off this season, but ever since he got into the starting role, as that's going to be a fumble. Sack comes in, and eventually they'll blow the whistle that's saying he was down, but the Steelers do take over. It looks like Hayward actually going to take a little bit of a brunt of that sack himself. Not exactly how you want to end the first drive with a turnover, but it's honestly not the worst that we've seen from this team, as a good pass there from Pickett actually gets his tight end Freiermuth to an open space and will pretty much avoid any sort of coverage across the middle as Murray was sitting there. It's in the blitz here on first down, and it will hit home Joseph from the slot. We don't try to send those all too often, but when we do, we really hope that they hit, and that time they definitely hit. As it's going to be a 3 tight end set, all spreading out, and they will go back to Freiermuth, though this time a little bit overthrown. And on 3rd and 17, they need to get to just inside the 2 for a first down. Would be great to hold them to just a field goal after starting in really good territory, which they'll dump it off. Freiermuth shakes the tackle, nice tackle, following up by Collins, though a flag is down. And unfortunately, it's going to be an unnecessary roughness. Late hit on the quarterback from Benito, who's finally back from an earlier injury. Not how you wanted that drive to go. I just talked about they needed to get down to the 2. Well, he found the one way that means that they didn't have to get down to the 2, so it will be a first down for him. as we stop them on first down. Second and goal here as they spread a little bit wider. Has a couple guys across the middle, though. They go back out wide. Freiermuth will pick up a few yards. And that'll leave them with 3 needed to get into the end zone here on third and goal, as they'll head out with a spread empty set. We'll spread wide a little bit ourselves. Pass to the outside and swatted, but another flag down. And it's a very questionable call. Defensive pass interference gives them another first down, and I don't agree with it at all. And I'm not even being biased there, as we did meet Najee in the backfield, slowed him down for a second. We'll happen to just buy us enough time to get some other guys in there to get the stop. Down to the 2 as they have second and goal. This time they go with a pass across the middle. And eventually, after getting multiple free first downs, they do find their way into the end zone. Steelers take the lead 7-0. And as our offense retakes the field, we need to remain calm, cool, and collected here. Don't need to push early and cause anything worse to happen, as Evans finds space, gets the juke, but not gonna break away from the tackle. 20 with a possible touchdown saving play there is actually the veteran corner in Patrick Peterson. But a great run there from Evans. We'll stick with the same look, though, try to set up a pass play. However, they cover it really well downfield, so we'll dump it off to Evans, who will pick up a few yards, 5, leaving second and 5 at the 48. And we saw it a couple times when we first brought out this playbook. I don't think we ran it at all last week. Let's go right back to it with a fullback dive. We'll pick up an extra couple yards, leaving third and second. This time just past midfield. We need to get to about the 48, 47-ish for the first down. From the strong eye, cut to the weak side. Williams is close, but the refs tell the line crew to move those chains. So first down to the 47, barely. But we will very much take those barely first downs, as we haven't gotten all too many of them so far this season. As a quick blitz from the outside, the ball just pops up, as that was nowhere close to where that ball was intended to go. Had a receiver about 10 yards downfield, but it just goes straight to Keanu Neal, as it will be another turnover to end a drive. Luck just definitely not on our side to start this game. Obviously, with the penalties that really helped out the Steelers. We got multiple stops by the goal line, but they just kept getting the free first downs, as Najee with the uppercut on Fuller. Luckily, Adebo there to clean it up. And then even the couple turnovers we've had in this game, really, they haven't been bad. It's just been unlucky. As they go out wide, Freiermuth shakes the tackle from Adebo and picks up the first. Murray pushes him out at the 37. Now, the bad part is when you have a team that's this low overall, bad luck really just amplifies the badness, as it's actually a great stop. When I'm talking about bad, tackle for a loss, Pierre-Paul. One of those few veterans that we brought in to just help mentor some of the young guys. He actually ends up making the big play for us. As will be a pass across the middle, and okay, we can't get the first tackle typically, but we at least have the speed to have a couple guys there. Pickens will pick up 7, leaving up with third and 5 that we'll have to start the second quarter. As the first quarter comes to an end, we have -7 passing yards, so that's great. But the Steelers have a -4 rushing, so at least kind of split even here, as it is that third and 5 with the quick slant, wide open, and breaks the first tackle. Luckily, again, we're there with the second. So far today, haven't really forced the Steelers offense to go the full length of the field, as they've gotten the turnovers. Eventually, maybe, we'll actually not end a drive with a turnover, and instead Young whiffs on the sack attempt. I swear if they get a touchdown on this play, and there it is, Freiermuth. Should have had the sack, just bad angle, bad contain, no one left there, and Freiermuth will put him up 2 scores. Though it will not be 14-0, as actually the special teams unit with a splash play gets the block. However, we don't get a great return, and we're actually starting at the 18. So special teams does both good and bad, as a little bit of a double juke there doesn't really get by the safety, but another first down rush by Evans, as they'll follow it up with a single high safety. So let's try to see if we could set up the post routes or dump it off to our tight ends, which they do cover all of it really well. Maybe a receiver breaking open late is Julio. Breaks the tackle, then shoved out at the 18. That's a pretty bad spot. Was closer to the 15, but not going to argue with the chunk play. And after maybe a little bit of a further review, actually was a decent spot. Maybe should have been another yard or so downfield, but not too bad as Evans once again with a space. Does break the tackle this time, though not going to get away from the next 3, but another gain of 8. So far in this game, he's averaging about 10 yards, or actually exactly 10 yards a carry. So love to see it. Hopefully we'll see more of that as we go Johnson's way as he dives into the end zone. Make it back-to-back, maybe even 3 weeks in a row. With a touchdown for Johnson on the zig route, found the space and made sure he crossed the plane. But that drive really just exemplifies the fact that this offense can get the job done. You just have to play near perfect to do it. As for the Steelers, this will be their first drive actually starting from a kick. The first 2 or first 3 even all started with a turnover. Though this time not going to be the same, though they're right back into that same area as they hook up deep downfield to Johnson. Fuller just played a little bit too deep there, and he doesn't have the speed necessary to quickly get back to wherever these deep balls are thrown. He really is a box safety, unfortunately, there, not playing in the box. But Benito will get the big play there as he does get the stop behind the line, loss of 1, leaving 2nd and 11. 2 spread to left, 1 to the right as they'll dump it off Najee. Joseph there, but just gets trucked by Najee. Collins will clean it up, leaving them with a 3rd and 2. As we go to try to set up a blitz, no, instead throw it wide, and actually knocking it free is Mullen. At the same time, Pickens picks up a little bit of an injury. So it will be a field goal attempt here to attempt to widen their lead. It will be a 50-yard field goal. This time we don't get the rush, and it's going to be through the uprights. They will widen it 16-7. But with about 4 minutes on the clock, we have enough time to run our offense the way we want to run it. And that includes keeping the running game going. This time gonna be Williams, though. Can't understate how good of a start Evans has had as Williams breaks the tackle that was not gonna get by Fitzpatrick. Gain of 9. But any little confidence boost we could give to this team at any level is going to be fantastic for us. As we'll go a little bit of some play action. Going out to that left-hand side, going to find Williams, who does not get out of bounds. It's fine, we have some time we can spare. As they're going to stick with the double A-gap look. See if we maybe find a pass to the outside. They cover that pretty well, and that pass thrown well out of bounds. Not really what we were looking for there. More of a back shoulder throw, not a 5 to 10 yards out of bounds throw. As we had the gap quickly closed, and now Evans a little bit shaken up. We're down to 1 running back. Though we may have a receiver or 2 that could potentially run some balls out of the backfield. We'll see what we have to do. As Johnson with some space is overthrown on 3rd and 9. Should have been a first down. So we'll have to punt it away. Stetson is showing some good signs of some out of the pocket ability to get the ball downfield. However, he's also showing a lot of just inconsistencies, and that's really not something we could afford. As a cutback from Najee, an awful angle there from Fuller. Murray is in pursuit, but I don't think you're catching Najee with the dive coming up empty. 1 play, Harris, touchdown. Well, if we're going to keep this game interesting, we need a touchdown here before half. So let's try to see what we can get going. As we'll start with the stick concept, and actually we'll dump this one off, and apparently not even dumping it off. We can't throw that accurately. And apparently I can't say that accurately either. 2nd and 10, let's try to set up a halfback screen. They have been blitzing, we'll get it out. We just need the 1 block, and Williams with some open space, incoming defender, juked. Just needs to hit the gas again, not gonna break away. Watt, heck of some speed. As on that great play, we can't celebrate for long as the rookie receiver suffers what looked like a knee injury. These young guys struggling to stay healthy, though. Evans is back, at least on this play. Looking for a cut to the outside. Probably should have stuck more to the middle there. We'll only pick up 1. But at least we'll applaud the effort as we hit the 2-minute warning. We'll stick with the weak eye formation here and try to set up a little bit of a rollout. If anyone's going to get open, we'll have X thrown just high enough to get over Watt, but not into the end zone. Johnson takes us down to the 2. And from there, we'll bring out the heavy set. 3 tight ends plus the fullback. Williams, the lone back, finds a little bit of the gap and will power through. We found that touchdown we needed before half to keep things interesting. This time goes to Kyron, I believe is his first name, Williams. But as I would love to make this a 1-score game, let's try to go for 2 here. I mean, we're 0-6, so it's not like it's really going to hurt us. Good coverage on the outside. Let's roll. Have our guy, but Julio drops it. Well, the bad luck just continuing through this game. Not sure you could really say it's a positive, but at least one thing to state from that is that even if we didn't get it, which we obviously didn't, or if we just took the point after, it's either way still going to be a 2-score game. So there's that. As they set up their own halfback screen, we read it a whole lot better, though we don't get the original tackle. Second tackle comes in and another injury for us to one of those veterans. I really wish that Madden would take it a step further with the staff function and be able to hire some like trainees or medical staff or something along those lines, because whoever we currently have needs to be fired. We cannot keep these guys on the field for a whole game. That's just been a problem since the very first game. As a hit comes in from Durant, we'll knock him down after a gain of 8. Would love to keep points off the board, as they're going to come out with a bunch to that right-hand side under center. We'll pass from it. As we sit across the middle, though, they'll go out wide. Not going to get by the first guy, though quickly calling that timeout. 2 remains for the Steelers with about 53 seconds left on the clock, and they need maybe 10 more yards to get in field goal range. Could definitely tack on some more points as they will pick up those 10 yards. So what we really need is to get a sack or something here. We haven't got much of any pass rush this entire season, as they pick up every single blitzer. Fuller dives that time, finding his man, knocking him down at the 17. And with 1 timeout remaining, Steelers are in scoring range here as they go back to Freiermuth. Will pick up an extra 5 yards. Fuller there. And that is one thing I don't quite understand with this playbook, is that it switches the strong safety and free safety so much for whoever the deep safety is, and it should be a free safety, in my opinion. One thing I do not like is Freiermuth just keeps holding on to these passes. Picks up the first down there. Only 2 incompletions for Pickett this entire first half. And they will settle for the field goal with 4 seconds left on the clock. We'll still keep this a 2-score game. So again, if we got the extra point, 2-score game. If we failed in the 2-point conversion, which we did, 2-point game. And then even giving up the field goal, still a 2-score game. As we have 2 seconds left, unless we could get a kick return here, we'll be headed on into half. As Hodges Tomlinson catches it back at the 5. Can we find a gap? No. Tackled at the 25, so we will be headed into half. And I don't think that was a bad first half for us. I think we definitely struggled from a lack of luck or just unluckiness, really. Because there were so many drives there that ended with not even bad turnovers, just unlucky draw of possible animations, if you will. As we take a look around the league, a rivalry game here for us with the Cardinals taking on the Seahawks. Seahawks up 14-10. Both of those teams sitting around 500. Looking at the second game, we got the Chargers taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs up 17-0 as the Chargers only 1-4. That team should be playing a lot better than they do. As for our last update in the halftime window here, we have the Packers taking on the Broncos, 16-7. Packers also have yet to win a single game this season, with Teddy B at QB. But as we get our second half underway, it will be Steelers with the ball, as they again already up 2 scores here, could widen that if our defense can't come through for us. Pickett's been great so far. Again, only 2 incompletions so far. And on top of that, Najee, with his big rushing touchdown, actually has some decent stats. Though the every down rushes haven't been fantastic for him, though he does pick up a good chunk there. Also important to note, that was only his 5th carry as well, so they just really haven't gone his way often to start this game. Might look to go more his way in the second half, though. They play action, fake it, then swing it out to him. Gets away from the first guy, gets away from the second guy, and finally will chop his legs out. When it comes to Najee, it's not just about stopping the running game, it's also about making sure he's not killing you in the passing game as well. He could hit both and then make things wide open across the middle. They've found that several times today. And most of the time, I'm pretty sure it's been Robinson just right across the middle, finding the soft spot in the zone coverage. As they'll try to exploit it again, this time Freiermuth will pick up 9. Without much of any sort of pass rush, the coverage is not holding up, as it should have been a stop and will still be a stop. Combination there of, I believe it was Benito, and then on the opposite side, as Washington, their tight end, is shaken up, heads off the field, but Jones from the opposite side just bullied the lineman back and actually forces the stop, though not for very long, as the second effort gets into the end zone. Deontay Johnson will widen their lead 3 scores. And for some reason, they think they should be going for a 2-point play here. I don't think it's necessary at all, but they're going to do it as Fuller overruns the route, but a great tackle from Murray will keep those 2 points off the board. Now, if we're to get back in this game, we need some quick scores. So while we've been trying to keep things similar to how this offense is supposed to be ran, we might need to spread things out a little bit. And we're also going to need some people to get open, as we're going to find a receiver, though he can't find the ball. It wasn't a great throw by any means, as the hit definitely threw it off, but Julio's got to be able to make that catch. 2nd and 10 will send Johnson in motion. He'll take the jet sweep, have to bounce it a little bit wider, and we'll get close to the first down, but a penalty sits in the backfield. And of course it's going to be backing us up, holding on the left tackle. Will be 2nd and 18, as we'll go back to some play action. See if we can find someone open, set our feet a little bit, or not, actually, as we can't find Julio once again. Right now, this team just struggling, just as we've seen, but in a different way in this game, where it's not even like it's been just much better play from the other team. We're just extremely unlucky right now. We're not getting the decent plays we need, and we'll get some yards there on 3rd, but eventually it's going to be a stop, and we'll have to punt away on 4th. Now, I've made a few little jokes here and there about, it looking like it's a JUCO defense versus an NFL offense. And in some ways, that's more true just about the entire team in general. Like some of the unlucky plays we've seen looks very similar to just when a team that shouldn't be playing against such a high-powered team is. And we've seen it in a lot of different ways, not necessarily JUCO versus NFL, a little bit of an exaggeration. But the meaning, though, still pretty accurate, where this team is just greatly outmanned every single week. And I feel like I could very safely say that at least the Steelers defense has taken it easy on our offense. I mean, they really haven't sent Watt much at all in this game. I mean, there's been next to no pass rush. And we do finally get a stop here on 3rd and 6. We force the throwaway, so there's that. And it does actually look like they're going to punt. So defense gets the stop. Though it is a really good punt, as we'll start back at the 16. Once again, though, we're going to have to try to spread out this defense and just find some gaps here and there. We are mostly all back out there. There have still been some injuries that we will not be getting the guys back from. And as I talked about not getting any sacks from Watt, he's immediately there to get a sack. 2nd and 22 at the 4. Backed up this far, we're going to need to get the ball out fairly quick. As we will across the middle, we're going to find Johnson, who will pick up some yards there, end up being about 8. But still, it's a 3rd and long for us. And at this point in the game, you consider maybe go-for-ing it, but we don't need to, as we do actually finally get the pass to Julio. Caught first down up to the 36. We're going to continue with a little bit of some hurry up here. Flip the play. Didn't really plan on doing that, but apparently that's what we're going to do. Trying to set up the halfback screen. Worked out well for us last time. Might not work out as well this time as we overrun our blockers, so we'll just pick up whatever we can. It actually goes for a gain of 5, keeping this offense moving here. Want to get another touchdown on the board before the end of the third quarter. How about right down the seam and overthrowing Rodgers? And it's those little plays like that that is really hurting this team, where it should be these completions, but we're just barely missing out as we miss out on the first down there, 4th and 2. Though I liked the look. They only have one guy across the middle. This should be an easy first down for us if we get our blocks, which we do. Shake a tackle. Will be a first down to the 48. Now from there, let's change things up entirely, coming out with a heavy set, fullback, 2 tight ends, as it will be a play action pass, gonna roll to this right-hand side. Anyone gonna necessarily get open? Maybe Julio with a diving catch. He'll make that one, but not the simple one that was right across the middle to him. Was a little bit behind, but still should have been a catch. We'll go to the run. Next play, trying to follow our blocker. Evans with a late spin that was not needed, and that might have cost us a first, but still a solid run. I will say Evans definitely looks like he could be a solid number 2 back, though Akers definitely our number 1 guy, as we just need to get rid of this one. Somehow, we actually get the better adjustment from the tight end in Williams than any of our receivers. Well, that ball getting there just when we needed it, as time is running out here in the third. About 10 seconds left as we motion over Hopkins. Try to leak him out to that left-hand side. He gets stuck in the jumbled mess across the middle. We'll roll out and throw out. And on 2nd and goal here, we'll change it up a little bit. Spread 2 to the left, 1 to the right. They do cover well on the outside, which is where we were hoping to go. This time just tossing it out of the back of the end zone, though Johnson almost came down with it. Takes an unnecessary hit and sends us into the 4th quarter, where we are down several possessions, though really needing to get the score here, and it's a 4-down territory. But clearly the shotgun wasn't working for us, so we'll change it up here, 3rd and goal. With a weak eye, we are going to pass out of it, hopefully at least. Gonna roll. Anyone gonna make a play? Throw to the back side, and not what I was hoping there for Julio. Was hoping he would stick more to the outside and allow the other receiver to drag him, well, inside. But we're gonna have to go for it here on 4th and goal. Hard count, no one jumps. Anyone gonna get to the outside? We will have Williams, though the ball goes through his hands. Credit there to Stetson Bennett, who did throw an accurate pass with pressure literally in his face. I'm pretty sure he got hit. But not too unsurprisingly, we don't get the touchdown we were looking for, as I'll go with a stretch, maybe keeping it towards the middle. We actually do pretty well on that run fit. Though Najee, with that big run he had earlier, is averaging close to like 20 yards per carry, just because he hasn't ran the ball all too often. As we have decent pursuit there that time from Jones, stops him after a gain of 4. And that stop actually does lower the average rushing yards to a more respectable, not really, it's still above 10, but closer to it now. That's just how few carries he's had so far. With the throw to the outside, I mean, we're just leaving these guys wide open. But at least up to this point, the team definitely has not brought that same level of play that we saw against the Cardinals. Obviously putting up 30 points last week on only 13 to this point. Defensively, we also still haven't made that one like cornerstone play. Passing yards are definitely going to be over the top of what we needed for Adebo, and I don't think he's gotten any of the other stats that he really needed, so it's not looking promising right now for his development boost. And with the likelihood of them running the ball majority of this time, I doubt he's going to get many opportunities for any picks. If anything, we just need to send him on some blitzes. So let's try to do just that. Paulson Adebo on 3rd and 5, outside corner blitz, and they hand it off down the middle, though we do end up stuffing it. We'll get the ball back, but with about 4 minutes left, we need 3 touchdowns. And so far today, we really haven't moved the ball very efficiently, so not promising, but we're gonna give it a good old try, as it's a little bit of a play action, tossing that one out, and yeah, well, if anything, it's gonna be a touchdown a minute for the Steelers. That was intended for a tight end, though it went nowhere close to him, and we have ourselves another injury to one of our other tight ends, Hopkins, who went on the crossing route. But definitely a lack of awareness, I would say, on that play, as the defender knew where the ball was going well before our offensive guy did, as Freiermuth on one play almost gets into the end zone, does get them down to the 3. So while last game it looked like this team was taking a step forward, in this one it definitely looked like they've taken a step back. Right before trade deadline 2, as we whiff on a tackle attempt there. Najee not into the end zone though. Though he does get about the length of a ball away from the end zone, as they'll spread wide actually here with 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Handed off Najee. Durant comes in, but just not strong enough to keep Najee out. It will be another touchdown for the Steelers late on here. Make it 39-13. And with just about 2 minutes left, let's see at least if this offense can get another touchdown on the board here for us. Make it at least about half the amount of points that the Steelers have scored on us. That's all I'm asking for. With the pass out wide, we're going to find Williams. Good hands that time, as he picks up 6 plus the 2-minute warning. Now 2nd and 4. They bring down the safety, though it's going to be a man-on-man coverage. How about we step up here with Bennett? Just go ahead and run as fast as we can. Keep running and out of bounds at the 36. First biggest play that we probably had since the first half. And he definitely was moving there, more than I thought he really could. Let's go with a little bit of a play action. Julio one-on-one. If we could get it to that pylon, and corner forgot where he was running. Will be one of the easiest touchdown catches for Julio, and we will at least make it that 20 points we were looking for. But of course a part of me says, I should go for this. So why not? Let's try to set up an onside kick here that, you know, honestly was closer than I've probably ever been, but still goes to the Steelers. And with the minute 45 seconds left, I imagine they'll be running out the clock, but we saw the Eagles, who were up massive, going for it late, so we'll see what the Steelers end up doing. And it was at least a run on first down, as we're about at the minute mark here. Gonna send a little bit of a blitz. Maybe try to get Joseph around the edge, though they go with a stretch the opposite way. Good cutback from Najee. Will be another first down. And we'll maybe see one more play here, as it does look like they're lined up to go for it. Imagine just a run down the middle or a stretch to the outside. That'll work. Good stop there from Murray, but that will do it for us here. The first half wasn't too bad. We were just unlucky, I felt like, a lot in the first half, and that was where our bad plays came from. But in the second half, the unluckiness just turned into bad play. The Steelers were able to pull away from us. We made some bad reads, some bad throws. Defense struggled to tackle. And to round it all up, Paulson Adebo, as expected, just nothing really happened out there. I don't feel like he was necessarily targeted a lot, but he didn't make any splash plays, and that's what we were needing. And on top of that, the veteran that we brought in Jamie Collins, Sr. to be a mentor for our linebackers. His injury was more significant. He'll miss the next 3 games. And I say 3 there, even though it clearly said 4, because I hadn't simmed to the next week yet, which will be the Dallas Cowboys, who are 5-1. In our own division, the 49ers are 5-2, Seahawks 4-2, the Cardinals 3-4, and we are 0-7. Now, before the next episode, I'm definitely going to take a deep dive into all of these teams' rosters just to see if there's any trades that we can make for guys who are just stuck in the depths of teams' rosters, where for us, they could come in and really make an impact for us. And definitely, I think an area of concern for us is the offensive line. On the defensive line could be somewhere for us to look. Potentially safety. I'm not in love really with the play of Fuller. Linebackers, possibly. I think edge rush could be a big spot for us to go after, whether it's outside linebacker or right ends or left ends. We can move them around. But just trying to find some guys that are just stuck in some depth charts, trying to make some trades. I mean, if you look over here at the Panthers, behind Al Woods, who's probably going to retire after this next year, they do have Tristan Hill and Javon Kinlaw. potentially we can make a move for those guys, though I would prefer better overalls, but this is probably going to be a slow rebuild. Or over here at left outside linebacker, they have Frankie Louvu, who's 26 and 81 overall, stuck behind Brian Burns, who's actually younger than him. That could be someone we could stick on the outside, though the strength isn't fantastic. Those are things we could look into. So let me know the guys you would like to see us trade for in the comments right now, so that way I can try to do that for us before this next game starts, which will be out tomorrow. And to make sure you don't miss it, hit that bear icon in the bottom right or scroll down, hit the actual subscription button, and tick that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. As mentioned, this series out tomorrow, was out today. It's actually out every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with the state-only challenge or states-only challenge in case of the ones who are currently going with the Virginias every Wednesday and Saturday. So 6 full-length videos every single week, plus all the shorts we do highlighting, or the opposite of highlighting, low lighting some of the things happening in these series. So make sure you guys are sticking tuned for all this content. Year one, I don't expect great play here from the Rams. It's really going to be a strong rebuilding project, and we'll look to make some big moves when we get to an off season, but definitely we'll start with some pieces next episode. So until then, see you guys later. Bye.